Every year, an ancient rhythm pulses through the Atlantic.
It's an epic journey of thousands of miles, undertaken by one of the most massive creatures on Earth. This is the Great Humpback Whale Migration, a seasonal wave of life connecting the warm nurseries of the tropics with the bountiful, icy kitchens of the north.
For these 40-ton giants, this isn't a choice.
It's a deep, primal need etched into their very DNA, the need to feed, to breed, and to survive.
But how on earth do they do it?
With no map and no compass, how do thousands of whales navigate a vast, featureless ocean with pinpoint accuracy? What secret senses are they using to guide them across entire ocean basins? The answer is a scientific detective story, a peek into a hidden world of instinct, memory, and senses we're only just beginning to grasp. This is the story of the greatest commute on Earth, and it reveals just how humpback whales conquer the Atlantic.
Our story starts in the warm, sun-drenched waters of the Caribbean Sea.
This is one of the world's great whale nurseries, a sanctuary where life begins. A newborn calf, weighing nearly 2,000 pounds and measuring up to 15 feet long, enters the world. It's born buoyant and ready to swim, but it's the mother who gently nudges her baby to the surface for its very first breath. For this mother and her new calf, these tropical waters are a temporary paradise.
Here, the bond between mother and child is forged.
The calf stays incredibly close, learning the basics, how to breathe, how to swim, and how to communicate in a world of sound.
The mother's devotion is absolute.
She hasn't eaten since leaving the North months ago, and she won't eat again until she gets back. This milk, with a fat content around 40 to 50%, is a true superfood. It's estimated that a calf can gain as much as 100 pounds in a single day.
While the calf gets stronger, the mother gets weaker. But this peace can't last.
The urge to migrate is a biological command. For her calf, it's the first and most important lesson of its life, learning the invisible map it will follow forever.
Crossing the Atlantic isn't a straight shot from A to B.
Humpback whales follow what scientists call migratory corridors, invisible superhighways connecting their southern breeding.
For the populations we're following, this journey begins in the warm waters of the Caribbean.
From there, a directed, seasonal movement of whales flows northward. It's less like a crowded highway and more like a vast, purposeful river of whales. Satellite tagging has shown that whales starting in places like the Dominican Republic travel in the same general direction.
Many pass near the island of Bermuda, a known landmark on their invisible map.
Many pass near the island of Bermuda, a known landmark on their invisible map. Then, the Great River of Whales begins to fan out.
The superhighway diverges, with different branches leading to different destinations.
The path a whale takes seems to be part of its heritage.
The first branch, the Northwest Corridor, leads to the bountiful feeding grounds in the Gulf of Maine. The corridor continues off the coast of Atlantic Canada and all the way up to West Greenland. The Stellwagen Bank National Marine Sanctuary, off Massachusetts, is a key destination. Hundreds of humpbacks travel between these northern feeding grounds and the Caribbean. The second branch turns northeast, beginning a more transoceanic journey. This route leads toward the rich waters around Iceland and Norway. It's important to note that different populations use different routes.
A separate, endangered population winters near the Cape Verde Islands off Africa.
These whales likely travel toward the eastern feeding grounds of the North Atlantic. Two whales that spent winter on opposite sides of the Atlantic could end up feeding thousands of miles apart. What's truly amazing is the loyalty these whales show to their roots. This isn't a new path every year. Data shows these corridors have been used with consistent timing and speed for decades. Individual whales often return to the exact same feeding and breeding spots year after year.
A calf that travels with its mother to the Gulf of Maine has a very strong likelihood of returning to that same area for the rest of its life.
This is powerful evidence that migration is a learned behavior, passed down through generations.
These corridors are shaped by ocean currents and temperature changes. They may also be influenced by the topography of the seafloor, including underwater mountain ranges. The journey is a constant, directed swim. Some whales maintain incredibly straight courses over hundreds of kilometers.
To do this, they must be using a sophisticated navigation system that works day and night.
Their internal navigation guides them across a seemingly endless ocean.
Section 3. The Navigator's Secret, an internal compass and map.
So how does a whale in the middle of the ocean know which way is north? The answer seems to be a complex, multi-sensory system, a combination of an internal compass and a mental map. One of the leading theories is that whales use magnetoreception, the ability to sense the Earth's magnetic field. For
thousands of years, the dangers were natural. Think of it as a built-in biological compass.
But today, the whales' ancient superhighways have become a maze of man-made threats. The biggest dangers humpback whales now face are us. The Earth's magnetic field isn't uniform. It changes with latitude. As our mother and calf travel up the Atlantic coast, they must navigate some of the busiest shipping lanes in the world. For a migrating whale, these subtle variations could provide crucial information about direction and location. But how would a whale actually detect this field?
A collision with a massive container ship is often fatal.
One hypothesis involves tiny magnetic particles called magnetite, which have been found in the brain tissues of some cetaceans. NOAA has declared an ongoing, unusual mortality event for humpback whales along the U.S. Atlantic coast. Of the whales examined, a significant percentage show evidence of death by one of these two threats. These microscopic crystals could theoretically act like a compass needle, telling the brain which way is north. Another, more speculative idea comes from birds.
Entanglement in fishing gear is perhaps the cruelest danger.
A whale can get tangled in the ropes from crab pots or nets, forcing it to drag heavy gear for thousands of miles. They have proteins in their eyes called cryptochromes that might allow them to literally see magnetic fields. This drains precious energy, causes deep wounds, and can make it impossible to feed, leading to a slow, agonizing death. It's a wild idea, but if true for whales, it would mean they could navigate by sight, even in the dark. A startlingly high number of humpbacks in the North Atlantic show scars from at least one entanglement. The behavioral evidence is intriguing. Then there is the invisible threat: underwater noise. Some researchers have pointed to a correlation between anomalies in the Earth's magnetic field and whale strandings, as if their compass was getting scrambled. It's also been suggested, though it's still debated, that major solar storms that disrupt the planet's magnetic field might be linked to navigational errors.
Whales live in a world of sound.
But the modern ocean is a cacophony of ship engines, seismic surveys, and military sonar.
But a compass only gives you direction. You also need a map.
This acoustic smog masks the sounds whales need to hear to communicate and navigate. It adds a layer of chronic stress to an already demanding journey, making it harder for a mother to hear her calf and for both to sense their world. The magnetic field can help with that, but whales likely use a whole suite of other cues. They might use the sun's position, like ancient sailors, to get their bearings.
Finally, the shadow of climate change looms over everything. The ocean is also a world of sound.
Warming oceans are changing where their food is found, forcing them to search harder and travel farther. Whales might use the constant roar of surf on a distant coastline or the unique acoustic echo from an underwater mountain as a landmark. Climate models warn that by the year 2100, some of their traditional breeding grounds may become too warm, forcing them to find new nurseries. The very foundation of their life cycle is becoming unstable.
And of course, there is memory. The migration route is passed from mother to calf.
The journey is no longer just a test of will, but a daily battle against a tide of human impact. After months of hardship, our mother and calf finally sense a change. That first journey isn't just about following mom. It's about memorizing everything. The taste of the water, the feel.
The water is colder, richer.
When scientists model whale migrations using only magnetic cues, the predicted paths are close, but the real whales are always more efficient. It proves they're using additional information, that learned, mental map, to fine-tune their course.
They've arrived.
They are master navigators, constantly cross-referencing information to chart a course with an accuracy that still astounds us. For those on the western route, this is the Gulf of Maine or the waters off Greenland.
For others, the seas around Iceland.
The journey north is an immense test of endurance, a marathon that can span 5,000 miles. For adult whales, the biggest challenge is energy.
This is their destination, the land of plenty. The long fast is over.
For the entire migration, they are fasting.
Imagine running marathons back to back for 2 months without a single meal. It's time to feast.
That's what a migrating humpback does. The cold northern waters are bursting with life. Krill, herring, and especially sand lance. A single humpback can eat up to 3,000 pounds of food a day. The mother, already weakened from nursing, has to power her 40-ton body across an ocean on dwindling fat reserves. They use an arsenal of clever feeding techniques, the most famous being bubble net feeding. Her body carefully rations this energy, prioritizing swimming and milk production.
Working together, a group of whales will dive and blow a circle of bubbles, creating a net that traps fish.
They seem to have an optimal cruising speed, around 1 to 1.5 meters per second, that perfectly balances speed and energy conservation. Any delay or detour can have serious consequences. Then, they surge up through the middle, mouths wide open, swallowing thousands of fish in one massive gulp.
For the calf, the trial is different. It is a stunning display of intelligence and teamwork.
It's still nursing, but it must keep up with its mother, surfacing to breathe far more often.
The mother, gaunt from her journey, feeds with desperation.
She has to rebuild her blubber to survive the next migration and to support another pregnancy.
This makes it vulnerable.
The amount of food she finds here is directly linked to the survival of her next calf, thousands of miles away.
The mother swims as a vast, protective shield, but there are still threats.
Packs of killer whales are the most significant.
The calf watches and learns.
A mother humpback will fight fiercely to protect her calf, but a determined pod of orcas can be relentless.
It's still nursing, but now it starts to sample solid food, mimicking its mother and practicing the skills it will need for the rest of its life.
The ocean itself is an adversary.
The summer here is short. For a few precious months, they will do little else but eat, rest, and socialize, packing on the weight they need for the long journey south that will inevitably come. Massive storms can be exhausting, especially for a small calf, and can lead to it being separated from its mother. The cycle is complete, and at the same time, it's already beginning again. Even other whales can be a danger. As they travel north, a mother and calf might run into a competition pod, a chaotic group of males fighting over a female. From the warm cradle of the Caribbean to the frigid feasts of the North Atlantic, the journey of the humpback whale is one of nature's most magnificent stories. It's a story of endurance, sacrifice, and a navigational genius that we're still working to understand.
In the frenzy, a calf can easily be left behind. Every mile is a calculated risk.
But we've also seen the shadows that now fall across their ancient path.
They travel day and night, resting only in brief naps at the surface.
The threats of ship strikes, entanglement, and ocean noise are real and growing. This journey is a crucible, forging the calf's strength and cementing the migratory route in its memory.
The survival of these giants no longer depends on their strength alone. It depends on us.
Organizations around the world are working to protect these migration routes, develop safer fishing gear, and find ways to quiet the oceans. They are pushing through the hardship, all for the promise of what lies at the journey's end. Supporting them is vital. The story of the humpback is a powerful reminder of how connected our planet is. Their journey is a vital pulse, moving nutrients across the ocean and supporting the health of the entire marine world. When we protect them, we protect the health of our oceans and ultimately ourselves. What part of their journey amazed you the most? Was it the built-in magnetic compass, the epic fast, or the bubble net feeding parties? Let us know in the comments. As we continue to watch and learn from these magnificent creatures, we deepen our resolve to make sure their epic journey can continue for generations to come. If you want to dive deeper with us, make sure to subscribe for our next exploration.